You didn't hear a peep about it. Let me see that. Whatever. What's up, Deshaun? What's happening, man? What's up, the gal? Oh yeah, you just got home, man. Working hard, man. Working hard for them. Working hard. What's up, Mac Knight? What's cracking, man? What's happening, man?
It came in Friday night. Just got one of the 911 calls that came in Friday night when there was that incident involving Rayshard Brooks, the 27-year-old African-American man who eventually was shot and killed by a police officer later that night. But listen to this. This is a very, very important 911 call. A witness.
You said mainstream media is speaking on the You said mainstream media is speaking on the Black Lives Matter female activist? I was just watching CNN for like 2 hours. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. What channel did you see it on? Why not? And I'm talking about national. I'm not talking about a local. I'm sure they're talking about it in Tallahassee. CNN mentioned it. I didn't see it. Who was it? It wasn't on Brooke Baldwin or Anderson Cooper. God damn, got helicopters all over. What's up, Kim? I didn't see it. I haven't seen it, man. I don't know. I haven't seen it. Send me the link, man. I want to see that. Don't send me no. Send me. I'll check to see. I'll check on Twitter and on Facebook. I'll look on Twitter and Facebook. What's up, Vlad? What's happening, man? What's happening? Raz of Chaz handing out ARs from the trunk of his Tesla. Raz of Chaz, alright, we're going to have to get into that. We're going to get to that later. Oh, it's online? Okay, they have been talking about it. I haven't seen nothing about it on the news. I've been watching the news all night and I ain't seen nothing about it. I've been watching the news all night and I ain't seen nothing about it. What's up, Leroy? Yeah, my man was Hey, listen. You notice how nobody's asking could he have done anything different. You ain't gonna hear one person ask could he have done anything different. Everybody's asking could the cops have done something different. I haven't heard one person. They said they should have drove him home. When you get caught, when you get busted for a DUI, they ain't gonna So now when you get busted for a DUI, the cops gotta drive you home or call you an Uber and park your car. But they want to defund the police. It seems like the police need more money. Don't it seem like the police need more money? If you want them to catch somebody driving drunk, if you want them to park their car and call them an Uber, the police need extra funds. The police need extra funds, man. They talking about defunding the police. The police need extra funds. Right. The police need extra funds, Jack. They want them to catch drunk drivers, then put them through a series of tests to determine that they drunk. And then once they determine that they drunk, call them an Uber or drive them home. Hey, y'all better give the police some more funds, man. Y'all better stop defunding the police. Y'all need to give them some more funds. Salute, Bill Myers. Give the police more funds. Don't take funds from them. Now they gotta be a cab service. Just combine the combine Uber and the police. Breaking news today: Uber has merged with the United States Police Department, and now we be driving. Now drunk drivers will now be given a ride home instead of taking to jail. We outlawed DUIs. DUIs are one thing I noticed about when I was in jail, there was a bunch of white boys in there for drunk driving, man. I don't know, man. Maybe things have changed in the last what was that, 14 years ago? I guess 13, 14 years ago. There was a bunch of white boys in jail. For DUIs, domestic violence, I don't know, man. I guess white guys get caught drunk driving, they just drive them home. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I guess that's what they try to say, man. And how do these black people know how did you ever wonder how these black people know how these white these interactions with white people go? like where are they getting this from? That if he was white, they would have drove. They'd have called him an Uber. Like where did they get that from? Like well, like where's the evidence of that? Or they just throwing that out there? Dude, I've been locked up with them motherfuckers, man. You ain't gotta tell me. I was locked up in Virginia. A whole gang of white boys in there. Okay? Whole gang of white boys in that motherfucker. Alright? I know they wish that they would have got it. And this wasn't Rashad's first DUI. That's the crazy thing about it. It's like this dude, it's like we talk about drunk driving. And we talk about how bad drunk driving is and how, it's reckless, man, to drunk drive because you put everybody on the road in danger, man. And they wanted to just And this dude had obviously been drunk driving again. You know, he had been drunk driving again. I think he knew already having that DUI. But still, did he think? And a lot of people are saying, I'm going to get into all that, man. Let me play this, man.
Just got one of the 911 calls that came in Friday night when there was that incident involving Rayshard Brooks, the 27-year-old African-American man who eventually was shot and killed by a police officer later that night. But listen to this. This is a very, very important 911 call, a witness calling 911.
Okay, so the police didn't just show up and say, black man. Okay? They were called there, man. Somebody called them, okay? Someone called them. All right? They were called. Someone called them and was like, yo, we need you to come up here. And that's one thing that people understand. Like, if you in the drive-thru of the Wendy's or McDonald's or anywhere, and someone falls asleep and you can't get, and he holding up the line, I guess they probably was like, why didn't everybody just go home? It's like they bending over backward. Why didn't everybody just go to another drive-thru and let him sleep it off? Like, I don't know, man. It just seemed crazy, man.
Atlanta 911 for the 7729 with location emergency. 125 University. Okay, 125 University Southwest. Is it at the Wendy's? Yes, ma'am. All right, you need police, fire, ambulance out here. The police. Okay, tell me what's going on. I have a car. I think he's intoxicated. He's in the middle of my drive-thru. I tried to wake him up.
Give me a race on this caller.
Now it's location emergency. 125 University. Okay, 125 University Southwest. Is it at the Wendy's? Yes, ma'am. All right, you need police, fire, ambulance out here. The police. Okay, tell me what's going on. I have a car. I think he's intoxicated. He's in the middle of my drive-thru. I tried to wake him up, but he's parked dead in the middle of the drive-thru, so I don't know what's wrong with him. Is he breathing still, so you know? Yeah, he woke up, looked at me, and I was like, you gotta move out the drive-thru because people can't, they're going around him. He's in the middle of the, just right there. All right. Tell me what kind of car he's in. So they're trying to go around him. What's the name of it? To pull over, you know, if you're not here.
So she already tried to wake him up and told him that he had to move. So her first instinct was not to call the police. She went out there and tried to wake him up, which probably held up the drive-thru even more because these drive-thrus it's not a lot of people in the stores like it used to be. It's like maybe 4 or 5 people. So she leaving, having to go to this guy's car. I mean, what's up? She tried to find another way. She did not immediately call the police. Nightly news with Arc Nation, news you can choose. Yeah, the only interactive news program on YouTube. You can support the channel via PayPal or via the Cash App. All donations appreciated. You're right, Bloom. That was actually a very brave thing because this is Southwest Atlanta. A lot of people don't know Southwest Atlanta is like the south side of any city. It's like Southeast DC, South Philly, South Bronx, South Central LA. It's a very, very dangerous neighborhood. Okay? So going outside, you see when somebody sleep, especially a brother sleep at the wheel, and you go wake him up, he might have attitude about you waking you up and want to, start a fight with you. You know what I'm saying? Brother may want to start a fight with you, man. brother may want some action, some static. You know what I'm saying? Brother may want some issues with you. It ain't, you right. That's a very true thing, Bloom. Very true. She, like, I'm sure they had to draw straws to figure out who was going to go out there and try to wake that brother up. I bet they had to draw straws, man. Nobody wanted to go out there and wake that brother up, man. Nobody wanted to go out there. He was like, man, I ain't doing that shit. I know niggas was like, man, I ain't doing that shit. You do it. Man, I ain't doing that shit. You do it, man. Shit, I know nobody wanted to go out there and wake that brother up. That's why we gonna give you the real here. We gonna give you the real here, man. Hit the like button. Share these videos. It's important to share these videos. Because there's other people that may want, you know, a place that they can, you know, speak about these things real, but they don't know because of things that's going on. But one thing you can do is share. You can share the videos. You can hit the like button. Everyone should hit the like button when they come in. Not because you like it. You might not like what I'm saying at the time, but you're hitting the like button to help the, you know, it helps it helps the algorithm, if you want to, for lack of a better word. He says, so what happens when Karens don't get the food right and call the police to fast food restaurant? I don't, man, we ain't talking about Karens, man. The Karens was 2 weeks ago, man. We talking about this right now, man.
Okay, 125 University Southwest. Is it at the Wendy's? Yes, ma'am. All right, you need police, fire, ambulance out here. The police. Okay, tell me what's going on. I have a car. I think he's intoxicated. He's in the middle of my drive-thru. I tried to wake him up, but he's parked right in the middle of the drive-thru, so I don't know what's wrong with him. Is he breathing still, so you know? Yeah, he woke up, looked at me, and I was like, you gotta move out the drive-thru because people can't, they're going around him. He's in the middle of the, just right there. Right. Tell me what kind of car he's in. So they're trying to go around him. What's the color? To pull over. You know, if he not had too much to drink to pull over and go to sleep, he said he went right back after I walked in. What kind of car is it? It's a white car. He just said that he came in to me. Is he black? Is he black? Why is he black? Yeah. He black? Okay, in a white sedan in the middle of the drive-thru. No, let me see what kind of car. It's right here. He's right here. The car's going around him. Okay. All right. Does he appear to have any weapons, ma'am? Ma'am? Does he appear to have any weapons from where you can see him? No, I think he's intoxicated. All right. All right, give me a name and callback number. And Miss, give me your telephone number and callback number. The store number. All right, thank you so much. We'll get someone out there. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, interesting 911 call Friday night.
I mean, look, I don't see nothing that woman did wrong, man. I don't know what that woman could have done. What's good, Sunday? I don't know what more that woman could have done, man. She went outside to wake him up. He wouldn't wake up. I'm sure the other customers who he was blocking in the drive-thru, I'm sure they were happy that the police were called. And I'm telling you, you probably couldn't have sent a violence interrupter down there. You probably couldn't have sent a violence interrupter there to, you know, you probably couldn't have. You probably couldn't have sent a violence interrupter down there to wake him up. Somebody without authority. You couldn't have sent somebody there without authority to go pick that man up. I'm telling you that right now. You see how disrespectful he was to two guys with guns and tasers. Both the guys who tried to control him had guns and tasers. So they talking about defunding the police and sending like therapists down there or whoever they're gonna send down there. I just don't think if he doesn't care about two grown men with guns and tasers and mace and billy clubs, who else you gonna send down there to wake this guy up?
Let's bring back Ryan Young. He's in Atlanta for us. He's monitoring all the late-breaking developments. But to get analysis also from lower codes. But Ryan, tell us about this 911 call.
Absolutely, Wolf. I think first things first, you got to think about the transparency in this case. Now, several days later, we have the body camera video. We have the eyewitness video. We also have heard from countless numbers of people about exactly what happened, and now there's this 911 audio. So when you put it all together, the timeline is really starting to form here. I will tell you, as we were walking with and talking with protesters today, the one thing they kept referring to was the fact that the officers then showed up and had that calm conversation with Mr. Brooks. In fact, everyone seemed sort of surprised that it would take a turn. And then you heard the mayor talking about the fact that they believed that if de-escalation was used, maybe this wouldn't have had to happen. And that was a big conversation.
Listen to how they never talk about the fact that the guy grabbed. They're only talking about what the cops could have done different. Do you understand that if the cops had let this guy go over to the side and just sleep in his car? Had they left and he decided, okay, they're gone, I want to drive again, and went out and killed somebody, that those cops would have been liable for that. Those cops would have been liable for that, not only in their conscience, but civilly. If that guy would have convinced them cops, okay, look, I'm cool, just let me sleep it off. Cops said, all right, drive off. He like, all right, they gone. Gets in, starts the car up, drives out, drives wherever he going, falls asleep again at the wheel, or has trouble functioning because he's so drunk, and slams into somebody and kills them. And they find out that the cops had already stopped him and did not arrest him and let him get back in his vehicle. Those cops will be civilly liable for that. Nobody's talking about that. But you know one thing about that Kim W? When he drove into the parking space, he drove on the grass. Notice you gotta understand, you gotta peep when you're watching the mainstream media. When they show him driving his car into the parking space, they cut it off. Cause he drove up onto the grass. You see this grass back here? He drove the car up onto the grass. Okay? Alright? He drove the car up onto the grass. Oh yeah, if he would have took off, yeah. Well, he didn't take off, but he did drive the car. But I'm wondering, I'm just like, damn, the mainstream media won't even show everything. They trying to make this guy look as good as possible, which I'm not saying he's a bad guy or whatever, but isn't it important for the people to see, especially if you have footage of it, if after they finally woke him up and they told him to drive into his parking space, if he then drove through over the curb and into the grass, wouldn't that be important? Hit one if you think that's important, or would you just cut that and not show that? If you were a journalist, if you were doing the news, would you cut that part out, or would you think that was important for the people to see? He literally, they said park right here. He literally went to park right there, hit the curb, went up on the curb and into the grass, and had to back out, and then that's what, like they literally, anything that doesn't make this guy look good, they're blocking out, and it's just interesting, the narrative, man. The narrative is crazy, man.
We have the body camera video. We have the eyewitness video. We also have heard from countless numbers of people about exactly what happened, and now there's this 911 audio. So when you put it all together, the timeline is really starting to form here. I will tell you, as we were walking with and talking with protesters today, the one thing they kept referring to was the fact that the officers then showed up and had that calm conversation with Mr. Brooks. In fact, everyone seemed sort of surprised that it would take a turn. And then you heard the mayor talking about the fact that
it took a turn. Well, no, it didn't take a turn. When they went to handcuff him, he kicked their asses. The way they talk about it, it took a turn. Like, that, the language they use, you got to listen to the language they use very carefully. The language they use is very, 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 the language they use is very, very, very strategic. You got to listen to the language they use.
We were walking with and talking with protesters today, the one thing they kept referring to was the fact that the officers then showed up and had that calm conversation with Mr. Brooks. In fact, everyone seemed sort of surprised that it would take a turn. And then you heard the mayor talking about the fact that they believed that if de-escalation was used, maybe this wouldn't have had to happen. And that was a big conversation that we kept hearing over and over. Wolf, in the last hour or so, we have received that 911 audio, and we have received the information about the two officers and their backgrounds. We are going through that bit by bit. But once again, as you think about this, not only do we have the dash cam, the body cam, now this new audio, and the parts of this investigation, you really see how they're laying this all out to be as transparent as possible. I believe a lot of that's being done to make sure
they don't even understand that they're going to get a lot more brothers killed by this. Because what's going to happen is they're normalizing resisting arrest. Between this and George Floyd, they're normalizing resisting arrest. They're making resisting arrest normal. And they're putting all the onus on the cops. Everything is on the cops. Everything's on the cops. Well, it was just a $20 bill. He didn't have to die over a $20 bill. And in this case, I didn't know falling asleep in your car was a death sentence. I see, you know how many tweets I seen that online today? I didn't know that falling asleep at your car was a death sentence. Salute the gal. Appreciate you, man. If y'all want to use the PayPal or the Cash App, I mean, y'all can do that too. Appreciate you, because, you know, I get it all. I get everything when you use PayPal or Cash App. But if you don't have it, I appreciate you using the Super Chat. I really do appreciate y'all using the Super Chat. If you don't have it, everybody don't have a PayPal or Cash App account. Everybody don't have a PayPal or Cash App account. Some of y'all don't. So salute. Appreciate you. But I appreciate you, man. Thank you, man. But isn't it crazy though that, like, they're normalizing, and what's going to happen is you have, like as we discussed last night, you have 18,000 police departments in this country. 18,000 police departments in this country. That's a lot of police departments. So what's going to happen is you're going to get brothers killed, man. You're going to get brothers killed, man. With 18,000 police departments, you're going to get brothers killed, man.
That the citizens out there really believe changes are being made. And so that's part of the situation that's going on right now.
That's an important point, and Laura Coates, I think the folks in Atlanta deserve a lot of credit for making so much of this information transparent and available to the public. Right now, the district attorney presumably is going to be making some decision by Wednesday, we're told, on whether to file formal charges against this police officer.
And that's extraordinarily quick. In fact,
Nobody's saying that the police officers, nobody's taking up for the police officers. Nobody's saying, man, that police officer probably don't deserve a murder charge. They're literally plotting on how they're going to charge this police officer with murder. They're literally listen to them plotting on how they can get this guy charged with murder. And he shot the guy, and what they won't tell you is that he shot the guy in the butt and in the back. So he was not aiming for the head, because you know these officers, they shoot, they go to the range quite often. So these officers are marksmen. A lot of these officers are marksmen. He shot this guy in the butt and in the lower back. So he was definitely not trying to kill this guy. He was trying to stop this guy, put this guy down. And Rashard, ended up dying because, shit, it's a bullet. It's still a bullet. But he didn't shoot this guy in the head. He didn't shoot this guy center mass. He shot this guy in the butt and in the lower back. And they're probably going to find that both of them was in his butt. Because they're trying to do everything they can to make the officer look bad and everything they can to make the guy look good. So a lot of information you're going to hear is going to be not just necessarily false, but it's going to be, lean. They're going to lean it to the best possible way they can to make the cop look bad and make the guy look good. And I ain't even gonna call him a victim because he ain't a victim. He make Rashard look good.
This investigation, you really see how they're laying this all out to be as transparent as possible. I believe a lot of that's being done to make sure that the citizens out there really believe changes are being made. And so that's part of the situation that's going on right now.
That's an important point, and Laura Coates, I think the folks in Atlanta.
Deshaun, he didn't aim the taser at the guy. He shot it. If you look at it, you can see the pow. You can see the spark, and you can see when it hits the cop, and then the cop falls against the car and drops his taser. He didn't just aim it, and it's interesting that they keep saying he aimed it. Like, that's what I was just talking about. He didn't aim that taser at that guy. He shot that cop with that taser. This is how Anderson Cooper said it. And the other lady, I forgot her name, whatever that lady that comes on like 6 o'clock on CNN, she said they both were like, he was sleeping in his car. He was, the cops came. He was awakened. The cops came. They gave him what appeared to be a field sobriety test. And then they tried to arrest him, put the handcuffs on him, and a fight broke out. They tried to put the cuffs on him, and a fight broke out. No, a fight didn't break out. He started fighting them. There ain't no fight broke out. And then he ran away and he aimed the taser at the guy. Man, he shot that guy with the taser.
Atlanta deserve a lot of credit for making so much of this information transparent and available to the public. Right now, the district attorney presumably is going to be making some decision by Wednesday, we're told, on whether to file formal charges against this police officer.
Look at this lady. She's so woke. And if something would have happened to her tragic, it'd be a 99.9% chance that it wouldn't be a cop. It would be a 99.9999999% chance. If anything happened to anybody on this state, even Wolf, we know who would be the biggest suspect for doing it, and it wouldn't be a cop.
And that's extraordinarily quick and fast given the track record of police-involved shootings. And remember, each of these instances, we talk about the George Floyds, the Breonna Taylors, there's so many cases to discuss right now. Now you have Rayshon Brooks, each of which has served as a cautionary tale to the next city and being instructive about what should happen. Even in Atlanta, where you're still a few towns away dealing with the citizens arrest-based killing of Ahmaud Arbery, but yet and still the idea of a DA's office not being transparent in Glenn County in Brunswick having a cautionary tale and being chucked to other places. I will say that 911 call, what is so heartbreaking to hear about it, Wolf, is the idea that the woman who called actually gave what would have been and could have been a potential result here. The idea of saying she didn't believe he had a weapon, was hoping he would go and just drive out of the drive-thru, maybe just park there and sleep it off. Now, we always know.
Again, once you get caught doing something, there's no, okay, let me, if you get caught stealing, the cops could be like, hey man, just put it back. Go put it back on the shelf. Or go put that back on the rack. But that's not how it works. You get caught stealing, they don't tell you go put it back on the rack. They don't tell you go put it back on the on the shelf. They arrest you for what you already did. I mean, this notion that the cops should have said, all right, man, just like, that would have been if he wasn't drunk. If he wasn't drunk, they would have been like, go. If he was just asleep naturally, they would have been like, all right, go over there and sleep. But once they determined that he was drunk, and when they approached him, the car was running and he was asleep at the wheel, he had committed DUI. Not his, he had his DUI. So this wasn't his first DUI. Okay? He had previous DUI. You don't get to say, all right, man, all right, you got me, all right, I'm just, no, that's not how it works.
About DUIs, don't want anyone on the road, but the idea that for over 20 minutes the officers had a similar feeling about this person not being a danger, and we see how this ended, it bodes.
Yeah, they had a feeling of him not being a danger. They keep talking about the conversation where he wasn't a danger. Okay, but then when they went to handcuff him, he kicked their asses and took their taser and shot one of them with it. So it doesn't matter if he wasn't a danger and during the conversation when he's trying to get out of it. Once he failed getting out of it, once he failed talking himself out of the situation, he showed you who he really was. They keep saying like, oh, it was a police. Yeah, it was peaceable because he hadn't gotten the result that he didn't like yet. Once he got the result he didn't want, which was another DUI, and he knows that once you get another DUI, that's some jail time. And even if you get out, your car, they're gonna put a breathalyzer in your car. You can't start your car unless you blow into a tube. He knew he was in deep trouble for another DUI. But none of that stuff matters about how he acted before. But he was nice when they were just talking. What does that matter? I mean, listen. If this is a bad shoot, Deshaun, if they're calling this a bad shoot, they're making cops' jobs nearly impossible. If you have to let somebody kick your ass, take your partner's taser, shoot him with, no, take your taser, because the cop who shot him, that was the guy Deshaun took the taser from. Deshaun took the taser from the guy who shot him. So the suspect resists arrest, kicks your ass all over the parking lot, takes your taser, shoots your partner with your taser. How many of y'all think all them cars in the parking lot that we seen, all them cars in the parking lot that we seen, how many of y'all think that this guy wouldn't have carjacked somebody? How many of y'all think this guy could have possibly been like, yo, grabbed somebody, went up to somebody's car in the drive-through after he got away from the cops, said the other cop didn't shoot him, could have possibly been like, get the fuck out the car, and took somebody's car and drove off? Is that a stretch? Would that be a stretch?
It speaks volumes about the idea of de-escalation, about the officers' training and their decision-making. And again, this isn't really a split-second encounter that most officers deal with. The struggle may have been unexpected. We're talking about an arc of a conversation that will all be taken into consideration about these officers' decision to use force.
Yeah, he certainly did not deserve to be shot in the back and killed, even if he
Right.
made some serious mistakes. Ryan, you just came to Atlanta from Minneapolis. Describe the difference, if you see a real difference between the way it's being handled in Atlanta right now as opposed to the way things were unfolding in Minneapolis.
Well, I think the conversation that we're seeing now is how forward-thinking these chiefs and the mayors have been in so far in terms of trying to talk to the community, in terms of trying to let them know what they are doing ahead of time. You heard the mayor say today that they're going to be doing a top-down review of all procedures when it comes to what's going on.
If he would have beat up two cops, took one of the cops' taser, and shot the other cop with their taser, is he... What would he do to a civilian? I mean, trying to get away. Because remember, he's trying to get away. They're not. Remember, the cops are not going to stop. Because this notion that, okay, once he gets away from these guys, it's over. We all know that's not how it happens. Those cops were calling for backup while they were chasing him. So backup comes. This guy's out there running through some alley with the cop's taser. He knows the police are still after him. He comes across a citizen or somebody chilling on their back porch, or somebody's chilling on their porch. What's to stop him from running in their house and holding them hostage, or running in their house to try to hide? Or seeing somebody getting in their car, or somebody at a stoplight, or somebody at a, and just to run up and commandeer their vehicle. He just kicked two cops' asses and took one of the cops' taser and shot the other cop with the taser. So let's just say the other second cop doesn't shoot him. I mean, if this is a bad shoot, the precedent is going to be... We're about to see lawlessness in this country. And now, when we see lawlessness, what community is most affected, will be most affected by a state of lawlessness? Can anybody tell me which community and which group of people will be most affected by a state of lawlessness? I mean, come on now. Holler at me. Tell me what's good. I need to know what's good. I need to know who I'm dealing with.
Going on at the police department to make sure that if an officer feels like they have to use deadly force, that de-escalation would be something they would go to first. In fact, I remember when they bought these tasers at the Atlanta Police Department, they're equipped with their own body cameras in the front of these tasers. And one of the reasons why they rolled them out is to make sure they stopped sort of the deadly shootings and had officers be able to have something not to go to that level. Where we saw that struggle, you saw that 30-minute conversation. When you watched it, you didn't really think that the two of them would not be able to control him, especially...
This guy's nose. Listen to what he's about to say. Listen to what this guy's about to say. It's very important what he's about to say, because what he's about to say right here lets you know this some 2020 shit. This guy would not have said this in 2019.
Make sure that if an officer feels like they have to use deadly force, that de-escalation would be something they would go to first. In fact, I remember when they bought these tasers at the Atlanta Police Department, they're equipped with their own body cameras in the front of these tasers. And one of the reasons why they rolled them out is to make sure they stopped sort of the deadly shootings and had officers be able to have something not to go to that level. Where we saw that struggle, you saw that 30-minute conversation. When you watched it, you didn't really think that the two of them would not be able to control him, especially when they had the hands on his wrist. And that's been the big conversation here. Was there something else that could have been done? We've heard some of the witnesses here in terms of the protesters say, why?
So it's the cops' fault for not being able to control him when they had their hands on his wrist. It's the cops' fault for not being able to control him while he was resisting.
If an officer feels like they have to use deadly force, the de-escalation would be something they would go to first. In fact, I remember when they bought these tasers at the Atlanta Police Department, they're equipped with their own body cameras in the front of these tasers. And one of the reasons why they rolled them out is to make sure they stopped sort of the deadly shootings and had officers be able to have something not to go to that level. Where we saw that struggle, you saw that 30-minute conversation. When you watched it, you didn't really think that the two of them would not be able to control him, especially when they had the hands on his wrist. And that's been the big conversation here. Was there something else that could have been done? We've heard some of the witnesses here in terms of the protesters say, why not just let him run and just try to catch up with him a little later? That's been some of the questions they've asked us. But that's why they're going to do this internally.
Why not just let this guy who just stole our taser and shot a cop with it just go off into the neighborhood, knowing that police are still pursuing him? That the pursuit doesn't end.
Review and go through all the policies, and that's why the mayor was saying that she wants to see significant changes coming soon.
And Laura, how important are these 911 calls potentially in terms of a DA making some sort of serious decision about charges?
But it can be very important because it gives you essentially what information the officer would have had when they arrived on scene about perhaps the state of mind or the threat that the person posed to the public. But here, you have somebody who was urgent to get this person out of the drive-through line, not because it seemed that she was considering this person was a threat to anyone. And so if you have that going in, that state of mind, and you know what the officers were being conveyed to them at some point in time, it then lets you understand.
These people are not intelligent. It doesn't matter what they were called there for. Doesn't matter if he appeared not to be violent. When they tried to put the handcuffs on him, he beat the crap out of both the cops, took one of their tasers, and shot him with it. Why do they keep going back to the front before he was? I don't understand why they keep doing that.
And perhaps, was there any reason for these officers to feel as though they were threatened? And at that early stage, they were not.
And at that early stage, they were not. So you can only arrest somebody if they threaten you? Wow. So now if you catch somebody shoplifting and they nice, if you catch somebody fucking, if you catch a criminal and they nice, you know, you can't arrest them because, you know, they weren't a threat. They beyond playing dumb, man. They are beyond playing dumb. That is not playing dumb. That's like some next level. That's next level. That's next level. They're beyond playing dumb. Oh, Shake Shack with Five Guys. Let's see, Brandon. Family Hustle. Bricks Week Show. Let me see. Let me go to Facebook. See what's going on Facebook. Let me see if these people are protesting, man. Oh yeah, let me get to this email right quick. I got a couple emails, man, right quick. Let me get to the emails right quick. Yeah, this is the one I wanted to get to. This is the one I wanted to get to, man. This one right here. After this, we're gonna go to Atlanta to see if they're protesting. Yeah, man. Do I think that white racists are gonna help that policeman out? I think that white people. I don't think you got to be racist. I don't think you got to be a white racist to help that policeman out. I don't think you got to be a racist to help that policeman out. Damn. Look at this shootout in D.C. Look, and this is what you're gonna have more of. Look at that. Look at that woman hunkered down. You think she wants to defund the police? How many of y'all think that woman, because this guy obviously isn't shooting at that woman, he's shooting at somebody else in the distance. How many of y'all think that this woman want the police defunded? Who think this woman want the police defunded? While she hide behind her car while one of the shooters is behind her and the other is in front of her and they shooting at each other. And trust me, the gun laws in D.C. are so strict, I can almost guarantee you 1,000% that these guns are illegal. D.C. got strict gun laws. Some of the strictest gun laws in the nation. Some of the strictest gun laws in the nation. So these guns are not guns. What the fuck? Home surveillance video obtained by Fox 5 captures the chaotic scene during a shootout Friday evening in that's Sims Place. I know that. That's Trinidad. I used to live around there. I didn't live in Trinidad, but Trinidad was the next neighborhood over. I bought many a bag of weed in Trinidad off one of their blocks. One of their many blocks. Trinidad is a very notorious neighborhood. East DC. That's where this happened. Very notorious neighborhood. It might be. It's been gentrified, but still, you can't gentrify some of these neighborhoods because if one person still live around there, everybody will come and hang out at that person's house. Like a lot of these blocks where you see a lot of niggas at, it be only one nigga live around there. But as long as one live around there, they all gonna come around there. They're not gonna stop coming around until everybody is moved out. Wow, this is that woman looks frightened. I know that woman is terrified. You said not as strict as Cali gun laws? I don't know. Look at that woman ducking that. She's terrified. So this is in Trinidad neighborhood. The mayhem lasts less than 2 minutes. You know how listen, how many of you been in a shootout or been in the midst of a shootout? You don't even have to have been one of the shooters. Just been in the midst of a shootout. Hit one of you just been in the midst of a shootout. Not saying you're one of the shooters. You're just in the midst of it. It's happening and you're right there. 2 minutes is a long fucking time, man. 2 minutes is a fucking eternity, man. 2 minutes is like 2 hours. It's like when you fighting. When you fight, you be like, man, we was fighting for like 20 minutes, and they be like, nah, dude, y'all was only fighting for like 45 seconds, man. But it feel like a long time. 2 minutes is a long time for a shootout. Okay? You know how they say, count to 8 minutes and 46 seconds. That's how long the officer had his knee on George's neck. Count to 2 minutes. Count 120 seconds. And just think about people shooting back and forth. And you like this woman. And you just right there. That's a long fucking time, man. Let's see the footage. All right, here go the footage, y'all. That's a long time. Look how many of them are out there. That one dude got a K. That one dude in the middle of the street, he got a K. Look, they heard the police. They put their guns in the. They go to police. Now did the police jump out and just did the police look like they was just profiling people? Did the police just jump out and grab the first black person they saw? No. Police still got to do investigation. Police still couldn't just jump out and be like, hey, anybody black, come here. Police still had to get out and do an investigation and ask questions. I bet nobody even got locked up. Let's see if anybody even got locked up. Remember, guns are illegal here. Okay, 6 people were arrested after the shootout. Okay. So 6 people were arrested. Alright, if you got any stories you want to send me, man. You got any stories you want to send me, send them to akintundelive2@gmail.com. I'm not accepting any YouTube videos. I'm not doing any YouTube videos anymore. Only videos from other mediums, like news channels and whatnot. So let's see. Yeah, and them police officers got to come in the middle of that, man. Bullets don't have no name, and the police officers got to come in the middle of that. And then they got to get a bunch of crap about what, and then it. Let me see something. Let me see something. Nightly News with Arc Nation News. You can choose the only interactive news program on YouTube. You can support the channel via PayPal or via the Cash App. Let's see. Here go the family. That's his family. Okay. Let me see. I might show you his family. Let me see something. Let me show you his family. Yeah, let's show you his family, man. His family talking. Did y'all see his family talking?
Pleading for justice. We're pleading for change.
I saw that, Ella.
Where my uncle was killed, the same zone we represented and loved all our lives. We stood with the Atlanta Police Department when they were just tearing up our city and said, this doesn't happen here, leave them alone. And here we are 3 weeks later. Those same police took something away from our family that we'll never get back. Rashard Brooks. Most of us haven't slept or eaten since we viewed a video of a man being murdered to only get a phone call moments later to tell you it's your loved one. This entire situation has traumatized me and my entire family. I'm sure for the rest of our lives. My uncle did not die in vain. His life mattered. George Floyd's life mattered.
All right, peace, Kim.
Breonna Taylor's life mattered. Mike Brown's life mattered. Sandra Bland's life mattered. I'm not only asking the city of Atlanta to stand with us, I'm asking for everyone in this nation to stand with us as we seek justice for Rashard. Thank you.
Now you hear from his cousin, Tiara Brooks.
Rayshard Brooks. The name that may start a protest tomorrow or another day in the future. However, the man himself no longer has a future. He can no longer live in the present nor plan for tomorrow. No matter what the different points of view are, ours of his.
Yeah, they act like he was just like they act like it was no context to it. He was just sitting there and the cops just came up and shot him.
Death. We must all agree to one fact. The fact that he was killed by the Atlanta Police Department. The fact that someone's cousin, brother, uncle, nephew, father, companion, and friend is no longer in this world. The trust that we have with police force is broken. And the only way to heal some of these wounds is through a conviction and a drastic change with the police force.
I'm a pass on this one, man. I'm a pass, Matt. I got to pass on this one.
But honestly, true justice will never prevail because we will never be able to bring back Rayshard Brooks. He will no longer be able to return to this world nor to his family. However, again, if we stand together and united as one, there will be no more cases similar to Rayshard's. How many more protests?
Listen to this. They're going to start asking for money soon. Watch this. Everybody's seeing this as a way to get money. You remember George Floyd had what, $14 million in his GoFundMe. I want you to remember that. Floyd Mayweather paid for George Floyd's funeral. Plus George Floyd had $14 million in his PayPal. Somebody tell me how much his daughter's PayPal got. All types of other donations outside of PayPal. Daughter got a scholarship to a university. Barbara Streisand gave George Floyd's daughter some stock. A bunch of stock. Now listen very closely, because you're going to hear them start to subtly ask for money. Which, listen, that's their business, but I just wanted to let you know that they're doing it. Watch this.
Will it take to ensure that the next victim isn't your cousin, your brother, your uncle, your nephew, your friend, or your companion, so that we can finally end the suffering of police excessive force. We are tired. Guys, we're tired. And we're frustrated. Most importantly, we're heartbroken. So we need justice for Rayshard Brooks.
This Mr. Brooks' cousin. His name is.
His cousin look like a stray homie, man. His cousin look like straight off the block. Oh man, salute Bird Nation, man. Appreciate you, bro. Thanks for the donation, man. Cousin look like T.I. before he started rapping and shit.
Mr. I'll try to make this brief and clear. First and foremost, we want to say, want to show our appreciation and thanks to everybody that's been out here supporting us and helping us. And we encourage you to continue to do so. And I actually go by the name of Kato Red. A lot of people know me as that. And a lot of celebrities I see that been trying to reach out and try to find the family. We are the family. I am the family.
You see that? He like, look, man, look, we need some money. This is a hustle, man. When your loved one get killed by police, this is a hustle. You can hear it in everything this brother say.
And united as one, there will be no more cases similar to Rayshard's. How many more protests will it take to ensure that the next victim isn't your cousin, your brother, your uncle, your nephew, your friend, or your companion, so that we can finally end the suffering of police excessive force? We are tired.
Before my cousin died, he said he was gonna buy me a studio. Listen to this cousin. But he's subtle in it, man. He's subtle in the way that he begging. His begging is so subtle. Listen to him.
Tired. And we're frustrated. Most importantly, we're heartbroken. So we need justice for Rayshard Brooks.
And I ain't even mad at him. He's seen George Floyd get $14 million just in his GoFundMe alone. Listen to this. Well, listen very closely. Hit the like button.
This Mr. Brooks' cousin. His name is Mr.
Good.
I'll try to make this brief and clear. First and foremost, we want to say, want to show our appreciation and thanks to everybody that's been out here supporting us and helping us. And we encourage you to continue to do so. And I actually go by the name of Kato Red. A lot of people know me as that. And a lot of celebrities I see that been trying to reach out and try to find the family. We are the family. I am the family. And if you're trying to help, reach out to me so we can try to make sure that my cousin and his wife and his kids is taken care of. If you can't help financially, then try to just help with your voice. Stay with the protests. Again, I want to just tell you that we appreciate all the help. We appreciate voices around the nation. We thank you.
He said, we need that money. Cough up that money, man. George got 14. We at least need to get 7.
As y'all know, I'm Attorney Chris Stewart, and I try to figure out a way to encompass everything that's going on and get rid of the division of one side versus the other and get the whole country to understand what's going on. And the first thing that came to mind is what we all just went through with the coronavirus outbreak. We all sheltered in place for months. Was in our mind. And then started seeing on the news large amounts of white Americans demanding change. coming out and rallying in the streets and protesting and making their governments change laws so that we could start getting back to regular life. And as I sat stunned watching TV and watching so many of our white brothers and sisters out there rallying, protesting because they thought something was wrong with the current set of laws in their city or state, we didn't have a problem with it. That is their right as Americans to demand change, demand laws change.
Now, does anyone have a problem with all these protests? Because all I see is protest after protest after protest. I'm not seeing this all as problems people are having. And this is the thing that I'm getting tired of. Some white hick in bubblefuck somewhere post that he tired of the protests, and now it's like all these people, then there's this narrative that all these people against the protest. Everybody seems to be very supportive of their protest. Everyone seems to be very supportive of these protests. Everyone seems to be very supportive of these protests. It's bullshit that they trying to make it seem like somebody is so against their protests. Hit one if you agree with me on that. They keep complaining that people is complaining about their protests. Everybody has been completely supportive of their protests to a fault.
We didn't have a problem with it. That is their right as Americans to demand change, demand laws change. So why is it so offensive or painful or off-putting when African Americans step forward to demand change against police brutality? Why is it so wrong when we are protesting in the street when we see something wrong with police?
You see the bullshit? Everybody's been 100% supportive. Everybody. Including the cops. The cops block the streets for y'all. They block off the side streets so no traffic can come through, so you can have the whole street. You don't have to just protest on the sidewalk. They block the whole streets off. I went down there. The cops block off the street they're protesting on, the street that they're headed to, the side street so no cars can come through the side to the side. Then as they keep marching, every street that they're going to is blocked off and blocked off and blocked off and blocked off. And all the side streets are blocked off. So if you happen to be going somewhere and you don't know it's a protest going on, you will be sitting in your car for at least 30, 40 minutes until all the people walk past. And then he got the nerve to come on here and act like everybody, why is everybody against the protest? Ain't it, man, everybody been letting y'all, man, what the hell is he talking about?
Watching so many of our white brothers and sisters out there rallying, protesting because they thought something was wrong with the current set of laws in their city or state. We didn't have a problem with it. That is their right as Americans to demand change, demand laws change. So why is it so offensive or painful or off-putting when African Americans step forward to demand change against police brutality? Why is it so wrong when we are protesting in the street when we see something wrong with police abuse? It's our God-given and American right also. So it's a thing for unity when you see both sides of it. You have to support and vocalize your rights as we did and we watched on TV and as people are doing in the streets now. Demanding changes in laws, in policies, in accountability, in value of life where that a man that was running away doesn't get shot twice in the back. And now there's a question of was it reckless or should he have used that force? Let me tell you and show you why shooting in a crowded parking lot is so reckless and so unnecessary of what he did.
Now, y'all just saw the shootout I showed you in D.C. How many of y'all were here with you about 20 minutes ago when I showed y'all that shootout in D.C.? Hit one if you were here. Nobody has come out and spoken about how reckless and dangerous that was. No one has come out and talked about how dangerous that was. And that happens multiple times a day in D.C. Literally. That might happen. I don't even want to put a number on it. But it happens a lot just in D.C. and twice as many times in Baltimore every day. Every day in DC and Baltimore. In DC and Baltimore, that scene plays out a lot on a daily basis, okay? Many times a day.
A witness today sent us his vehicle, which was hit by one of Officer Rose's bullets, while he and his kids were in the car. A couple feet up, and we would have had another lost life. So, trying to justify the actions of shooting at Mr. Brooks as he's running away in a crowded Wynn's parking lot, when you can easily catch him later for what started off as a very non-confrontational.
For drunk driving. You notice he don't want to say drunk driving? And you notice they don't want to say that the car was a rental? Salute. R.I.P. Law and Order. Salute Blake Slate, man. Yeah. Listen, they don't want to. He doesn't want to tell you the facts. Rayshard was driving a rental car. So if the police had let him go, they don't have his car. They have a rental car. And then they wouldn't be letting him go for a minor incident. They'd be letting him go for a DUI. Say it with your chest, my nigga. Let him go for a DUI. Stop lying to us like we're stupid.
Mr. Brooks as he's running away in a crowded Wynn's parking lot, when you can easily catch him later for
a DUI.
What started off as a very non-confrontational situation, it can be justified. It cannot be justified. Otherwise, we're going to continue to lose lives from stray bullets shooting at someone that should have never been shot at. And people ask, how could this have ended? Why did he resist? Why it could have ended there? Well, it also could have ended here. I can walk. My sister's house is right here. That's...
Yeah, but that's just him saying that. I can walk. My sister's house is right there. He had told them so many lies. You're asking them to believe. They're asking for the cops to believe what this guy was saying, right? When they asked him, when he lied, he had lied to them repeatedly. Everything he told them was a lie. I had one drink. Then I had 1.5 drinks. Then I don't know how many drinks I had. What city are you in? I don't know what city. I'm in this city. I'm in this city. I'm in this city. I'm in this city. Everything he had told them up to that point was a lie. But they're supposed to believe that his sister lives right down the street. And then they're supposed to let him go for a DUI because his sister lived down the street. Man, we about to lock you up for a DUI. But wait, my sister lived down the street. Oh, for real? Damn. Why you ain't say something earlier?
How this could have ended. It didn't have to go to that level, and that's what we're saying in America with policing, is this type of empathy is gone. The courtesy of an officer, it wasn't like he was called there because Mr. Brooks had been swerving and was a danger to society. The first call was because a man was asleep. Where is the empathy in just letting...
The first call is not because a man was asleep. Because if that was the case, we would all get locked up. If you could call the police because somebody was asleep, we all in trouble. Okay? Nigga, I love sleep. Especially since I got my CPAP machine. Oh my God, I love me some sleep now. I always liked sleep, but I like it more now that I can actually breathe while I'm sleeping. I love sleep. So, since, as he put it, this whole thing started because someone was asleep. Not because a guy was sleep in a running car in the drive-thru and blocking people, it wasn't because of that. It was just because somebody was asleep. Somebody was asleep. That's all this.
So just like protests before, that's what we're demanding. It's not just laws. That's how this could have ended. It didn't have to go to that level, and that's what we're saying in America with policing, is this type of empathy is gone. The courtesy of an officer, it wasn't like he was called there because Mr. Brooks had been swerving and was a danger to society. The first call.
We don't know. He was drunk. If he was asleep at the wheel, if he was asleep at the wheel of a running car in the drive-thru, swerving would be the least of our problems if he got back with the road. If the lady came and banged on the window and woke him up, and he went immediately back to sleep. Think about this, y'all. The lady who called the police on him at the Wendy's, she came out there and woke him up. He immediately went back to sleep. The responding officer came back, woke him up. He went back to sleep. Woke him up again, told him to park the car. While trying to park the car, he hops the curb and drives into the grass. And this guy comes on here and says this shit.
That's how this could have ended. It didn't have to go to that level, and that's what we're saying in America with policing, is this type of empathy is gone. The courtesy of an officer, it wasn't like he was called there because Mr. Brooks had been swerving and was a danger to society. The first call was because a man was asleep. Where is the empathy in just letting him walk home? That's what policing is supposed to be, no matter what color you are. But as they said, that's broken, that's gone.
Hold on. This had something to do with his color? It seemed like... Hold on. What? Wait a second. This happened because of the color of his skin? What? Hold on, man. Someone called the police because he was asleep at the wheel of his running car and blocking the drive-thru. Someone called the police after they came out there to wake him up, and he went immediately back to sleep. And they're talking about this because of his race. What?
America with policing is this type of empathy is gone. The courtesy of an officer, it wasn't like he was called there because Mr. Brooks had been swerving and was a danger to society. The first call was because a man was asleep. Where is the empathy in just letting him walk home? That's what policing is supposed to be, no matter what color you are. But as they said, that's broken, that's gone. We don't see that often, and we definitely don't see it in the African American community. So just like protests before, that's what we're demanding. It's not just laws, policy changes, but a mental change in policing, which is missing. So we do want everybody's support. We're looking forward to the DA's findings in this situation. And the only thing that we can ask for...
Right, Wendy should have just closed the drive-thru. Or the customers in the drive-thru should have been like, hey, this guy's asleep. Guess can't get no food tonight. And just went somewhere else. Everybody at every turn should have accommodated this guy. This is a city with like 2 million people in it. This is a city with like 2 million people. This is basically, they wanted this shit to be like the fucking Truman Show. The Ray Shard Show. Where everywhere he goes, everybody just... How many of y'all saw the Truman Show? If one of you seen the Truman Show. With Jim Carrey. And if you haven't, make sure you go do that. If you haven't, make sure you go do that. But they wanted this shit to be like the. Well, actually, that's racist, man. Sleep doesn't matter. Black sleep matters. Black sleep matters. I'm offended that you said all sleep matters. Somebody's. I think Hawk got a wrench though. Hawk got a wrench. I was about to say somebody time Hawk out for saying sleep matters. Only black sleep matters, okay? Black sleep matters. He tried to all sleep matters us. Stop trying to all sleep matters this shit. Black sleep matters.
As they said, that's broken. That's gone. We don't see that often, and we definitely don't see it in the African American community. So just like protests before, that's what we're demanding. It's not just laws, policy changes, but a mental change in policing, which is missing. So we do want everybody's support. We're looking forward to the DA's findings in this situation. And the only thing that we can ask for is some semblance of an idea of justice, because there is no definition anymore of what it is. But what we know right now is that a man.
They want justice. Well, you know, Thomas, you say, what happens if white people do this? That'll be very interesting. I would love to see a white family. I would love to see all, 300 white people that get killed by cops every year. I think it's like 450. I think 450 or so white people get killed by cops every year. I would love to see all 400 or so white people that get killed by cops every year do this shit. But the only thing is that the news media, I don't know if the news media gonna cover it, but it would be nice to see them. I would love to see that, man. Every time a white dude gets shot by the cops, get killed by the cops. I would love to see that, man.
His life was taken, which should never have happened. Right now, I want to introduce everyone to Tamika, who many of you have met, and the kids. Blessing.
They're a little teeny little family, ain't they? They're a little teeny little black family, man.
Memory and dream. Blessing, it was her 8th birthday when her father died. She had her birthday party on the same exact day that they found out that their father was killed. She had her birthday dress on. As all of you have heard, she had cupcakes and friends over. She was supposed to go skating with her dad, and that didn't happen, of course. Also, Makai, who's 13, is his stepson, and he took care of him as well. How you doing? And Tamika, you want to say a few words?
I just want to thank everybody for all the protesting, love, and support that you guys have done. I can't.
Girl, donate so homegirl can get glammed up. I ain't even gonna be mad if y'all donate for homegirl to get a glow up, man. Donate to let Rayshard's wife get a glow up, man. And is this his wife or his baby mama? Is this his wife or his baby mama? Does anybody know? Cause in the how many of y'all saw the body cam? He was talking about a girlfriend, remember? In the body cam, he kept talking about his girlfriend. It's cause of he kept talking about a girlfriend in the body cam, man. During the arrest, he was talking about a girlfriend. So I don't know. Maybe saying the wife makes him look better. Maybe because maybe saying he had a wife makes him look like a better person. But I mean, are they trying to are they saying something's wrong with the way we do things in our community? If they can't just tell the truth about you?
Words can't explain how thankful I am for everything. Even though I can't bring my husband back, I know he's down smiling because his name will forever be remembered. And no, there's no justice that can ever make me feel happy about what's been done. I can never get my husband back. I can never get best friend. I can never.
The way she said husband, the way she rushed that, make me thinking that they wasn't officially married. Listen how she said husband.
No, there's no justice that can ever make me feel happy about what's been done. I can never get my husband back. I can never get best friend. I can never tell my daughter, oh, he's coming to take you skating or swimming lessons. So.
Oh, she tried to snatch the weave off. I knew that was coming. The baby tried to snatch the weave off, man. Oh, man.
We spoke with who will be
and great.
Baby tried to snatch the weave off.
I can't. Words can't explain how thankful I am for everything. Even though I can't bring my husband back, I know he's down smiling because his name.
That little girl gonna get a whooping.
And
that little girl gonna get a whooping. You embarrassed Bobby? Now I'll embarrass you. That little girl got. Oh my God, man.
No, there's no justice that can ever make me feel happy about what's been done. I can never get my husband back. I can never get best friend. I can never tell my daughter, oh, he's coming to take you skating or swimming lessons.
Hey man, if she would have ripped that fucking thing off her head, man, that would have been the most epic thing that ever happened. And that would have been 2020. We might have hope for 2020, man. 2020, there still may be hope, y'all. Cause listen, the way this year been going, that little girl was supposed to snatch that thing off her head. I ain't even gonna lie to you. The way this year been going, that little girl was supposed to snatch that thing off that lady head, man. The way no tears. You never see tears, man. We talked about, Tommy been talking about that for years, man. I ain't even gonna take credit for that. Tommy been talking about that for years. You never see tears. You gotta understand too, this woman lives in a neighborhood, they live in Southwest Atlanta. Like, somebody gets killed over there every day. Like, these people are acting like, oh, they've never seen murder. Be like, I can't believe someone was killed, and all my sensibility. These people live in the worst neighborhoods. They did a couple studies on shot spotters. Before they put shot spotters in these neighborhoods, they did a couple studies. They put the shot spotters in the neighborhood, and they matched it up how many times gunshots were fired and how many times someone called the police. And they found out that 90% of the time, guns are fired in communities, in the community. 90% of the time when shots are fired in the community, no one calls the police. So only 10% of the time when gunshots ring out in the community do people call the police. 10% of the time.
I can never get my husband back. I can never get best friend. I can never tell my
Look,
daughter.
she's seeing her. She thinks she's about to do it.
Or swimming lessons. So. This is gonna be a long time before I heal.
Okay, I got you.
Before this family heal. And I just, like I said, I'm just thankful for everything that everyone is out there doing. And I just ask that if you could just keep it as a peaceful protest, that would be wonderful. because we want to keep his name positive and great.
Lastly, we do want to acknowledge and thank Tyler Perry, who we spoke with, who will be taking care of the funeral for
my man about to have. So the only way you can have a funeral nowadays is if you get shot by the police. Everybody else, you have a Zoom. Everybody else can't bury their loved ones. Everybody else can't have funerals. But if your loved one gets shot by the police, you get to have a epic Hollywood funeral.
The family, and it's support like that. It's people who are actually in this community, that love the community, that want healing, and families like this to never have to go through something like this. To step forward, and I want to thank him for such a generous move. Yeah, 3 brief questions.
Did Richard discuss what is going on and don't discuss with him? Shooting could happen. Just all the conversation.
Just talk the George.
Oh, the George. I mean, we watched it, and I always said, baby, I don't ever want that to be you. Or, he was always like, no, it's gonna change. He always try to stay positive about everything. But we've had our incidents where we've had police officers stereotype my husband just because of tattoos in his face. So it's really crazy. I'm scared every day.
If police had to stereotype every brother with tattoos on his face, this is such crap, man. Every brother got tattoos on his neck and his face, all over his arms. And we already know he's been arrested for cruelty to children and false imprisonment, all the stuff we talked about yesterday. So she trying to make it seem like now she probably called the police on him. How many of y'all think she the one who called the police on him on those domestic on the 2 domestic events? Who y'all think? How many of y'all think she the one who called the police on him? I hate to do this, but baby, now you talking about people. You talking about police. She talking about the police profile him because he had tattoos on his face. Well, okay. Who called the police on him for this? Who y'all think called the police on him for this? Because this seemed like the wife, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been in these situations. It's the wife or the girlfriend. Or if you getting out of control, it may be a neighbor. But most likely, false imprisonment, cruelty to children, simple battery, family violence. That's something that is happening in the home. Family violence, that happens in the home. She just said they've had incidents where the police have profiled him because he had tattoos on his face. And every nigga walking around with tattoos on his face. And we all in the world, we all seeing niggas all day. We don't see nobody just... Niggas just walk free through the world. Nobody ever fucks with niggas. Except another nigga. Who would have called the police on him? I mean, come on. The lady at Wendy's? The lady at Wendy's got him again. The lady at Wendy's said, hey, I need to go to Rashad. Y'all need to go to Rashad Brooks' house. My spidey sense is telling me he being cruel to his kids. So the lady at Wendy's called the police on him this time. Karen, yeah, some white lady just called the police on him. It sound like a family shit. This sound like something that happened in the house. This don't look like nothing that happened in broad daylight. This sound like something that happened in the house. simple battery, cruelty to children, false imprisonment. And I'm not saying he's a bad guy. It could have been a bad day. He could have had a bad day. Since we giving him excuses for what he did with them cops, let's give him an excuse for this. I'm excusing cruelty to children and simple battery and false imprisonment. I'm going to give him an excuse for that. But what I'm saying is, could it be that, like, who called the police that time? That's all I want to know. Who called the police?
My children go out, my husband go out, my family members go out. I'm scared because I don't know what to expect. And this just really started because I don't even know if they're going to come home.
And Christian, that kind of, it goes to a point of people are asking, well, why would he resist when they were trying to put him in handcuffs? Well, they put George Floyd in handcuffs, and he was subsequently killed. So just get put in handcuffs if you're African American doesn't mean, oh, you're going to get nice.
So he says just being put in handcuffs as an African American doesn't mean that you're going to be taken to prison. So them cops was going to put this guy in handcuffs and then kill him right there. And them cops seem nice, man. Them cops seem like regular good old guys, man. They seem like regular cops. They seem like they were trying to give him every opportunity to prove he wasn't drunk. They were looking for any reason for him to prove that he was not drunk. And he could not do it.
Hey, my children go out, my husband go out, my family members go out. I'm scared because I don't know what to expect. And this just really started because I don't even know if they're going to come home.
And Christian, that kind of, it goes to a point of people are asking, well, why would he resist when they were trying to put him in handcuffs? Well, they put George Floyd in handcuffs, and he was subsequently killed. So just get put in handcuffs if you're African American doesn't mean, oh, you're going to get nicely taken to the back of a police car. So, especially watching this video of George Floyd over
and then you get locked up and there's a million niggas down there in the prison. And then you get locked up and there's a million brothers in jail who all got put in handcuffs and put in the car and driven to jail. This notion that every black person that come in contact with police is going to get killed until you go to jail. And when you in jail, talk to the brothers and ask them how many times they've been arrested. You in there with brothers that been arrested. Just ask how many times they've been arrested that current year. Don't even ask how many times they've been arrested in their whole life, because they probably can't remember. Ask how many times they've been arrested that year. $18,000 police departments in this country working every single day. 18,000 police departments working every single day. And what? Every other day a brother gets shot by the cops, get killed by the cops. Every other day a brother get killed by the cops. You got 18,000 police departments working 24 hours a day, every day. And every other day, a brother gets shot by the cops and killed. Nightly news with Ock Nation, news you can choose, the only interactive news program on YouTube. You can support the channel via PayPal or via the Cash App. All donations appreciated.
over again. His reaction may have been, I'm not getting put in handcuffs. So we can't just toss it out because he resisted.
Unfortunately, attorney, he'd already been arrested numerous times before. This wasn't even his first DUI. He'd been arrested numerous times before, and he'd been arrested for DUI before. But all of a sudden, He afraid of getting put in handcuffs.
To the back of a police car. So, especially watching this video of George Floyd over and over again, his reaction may have been, I'm not getting put in handcuffs. So we can't just toss it out because he resisted. George Floyd didn't, and it ended the same way. And this is something that is not new. It's not just with this George Floyd. All of us, I know every black man standing behind me and woman too, we have all been dealing with this from birth. So that's a trauma that is deep. It's not something that just started 2 months ago. I still today dress like I dress, do what I do. I still feel nervous around police, and that's
why you feel nervous around police, bro. Man, let's cut this crap out, man. Last time I felt nervous around police, I was up to no good. When I ain't doing nothing, I do not feel nervous around police. Stop this, man. Stop this, man. His brother was wearing a 3-piece suit, man, with a handkerchief, man. Talking about, I still feel nervous around police dressed like I am. Like, come on, man. Stop this, man. When y'all gonna stop this bullshit?
Shouldn't be the case, right? And so if you feel that way, and then you see all of these things happening, of course you're gonna feel some kind of way when the police come up to you and you are somewhere where you're not in the perfect state of mind at that point in time.
Okay, so that's the first time that somebody said he was not in the perfect state of mind. Okay, at least that was the first time somebody admitted he was not in the perfect state of mind.
Yes, I believe Cassidy that you spoke about this. I think you mentioned a few weeks ago that your family was asking people not to attack the precinct, the police. Can you talk about that moment and what it feels like now, thinking that that's the position you took before?
It makes you eat your words. I love Atlanta. My family loves Atlanta. And when they were busting out the window at CNN Center, we were like, why are they doing this to our city? Burning down police cars. Why are they burning police cars? This doesn't happen in our city. And it hit our front door. So, not only does it happen in our city, it happens in cities everywhere.
All right, just once.
So let me respond a little bit more about your first what would be like to
Let's talk about it. Tell me, man. My name is Jamaico Brooks.
This brother done did some time, man. This brother right here speaking right here, he done did some time.
what would be like to
Let's talk about it. Tell me, man. My name is Jamaico Brooks. Rayshard is my first cousin. These people that you see behind you are his sisters, brothers, his nieces, nephews, his first cousins. A week and a half ago, me and his older brother playing chess, and he just popped up. And I said, "Cuz, hey, how you doing, man? You good?" He said, "Yeah, I came because I need to see my wife and my baby, man, my daughter's birthday." See, you staying out of trouble? You all right? He said, I'm fine, cuz I'm all right. We shared a few drinks, a few laughs. His big brother gave him a few dollars and he left. He was always happy. He was always smiling. And you'd have to kill him by one of his family members, because he wasn't that type of dude. So, you people that are looking around the world and you have your feelings, before it happened to us, I could only guess at what you felt, but now I understand. Life shouldn't be this complicated. Life shouldn't be where we have.
I can just tell from, listen, this brother OG, this the OG, man. This brother was in the streets back in the 70s and shit. This brother was in the streets in the 70s and 80s, man. You could just look at him, man. You could tell by this brother's swag. This brother from the streets, man.
To feel some type of way if we see a police or somebody of a different color. I didn't come down here to talk to the media. I came to love on my people. If you ask how old this young black man was, look at your children when you see them laugh. That innocence, that joy, that pureness of soul. And you had a glimpse of what we lost. You have a glimpse of what it feels like. Because tomorrow, we're going to have to deal with it again. We're going to have to bury him. We're going to have to say, we miss you. And if we didn't say we love you enough, we got to apologize to him for not telling him that we love him that much.
How many of y'all think this part right here is real? Who think that this part right here is real? One, if you think this is real, or two, if you think this is, you know, they throwing a little extra mustard on it. One, if you think it's real, two, if you think it's staged.
We love you enough. We got to apologize to him for not telling him that we love him that much. I told y'all to know that y'all took my cousin from you. Y'all took the wrong person. That wasn't the person.
We took it. Hold on. Ain't nobody. He said y'all took my cousin from me. Who is he talking about? The people in there, they on your side. They giving you a no act of kindness goes unpunished. These people in here giving you. These people in here all bending over backwards. Ain't nobody in here said an ill word about you. Everybody in here, ain't nobody asked no tough questions. None of the reporters asked anything close to a tough question. Nobody asked, well, could Rashad have done anything different? Nothing. All these people here are down with the cause. Down with the program. And look what this brother gonna say to him.
I told y'all to know that y'all took my cousin from you. Y'all took the wrong person. That wasn't the person to take us. He wasn't the
Alrighty. There we go, man. Portland, they always protesting in Portland. Damn. Do they never not protest in Portland? It's like constant protest in Portland. Man, Portland? Y'all, what is Portland protesting for? Them people in Portland ain't got nothing else to do, man. They ain't got nothing else to do with themselves, man. Y'all people in Portland getting on my daggone nerves, man. Stop protesting, man. We asking y'all, all right, people in Portland, we asking you now, stop protesting. All right? Please stop protesting, people of Portland. Please. Look at Jamel Hill's tweet. You see the video I did on this on my other channel today. Olawatoye and Salu, Black Lives Matter activist, kidnapped and killed. A Black Lives Matter activist was kidnapped and killed. How many of y'all think anybody gonna pay for her funeral? How many of y'all think anybody gonna step up and pay for her funeral? How many of y'all think that any celebrity is gonna pay for this girl's funeral? She's a Black Lives Matter activist from Tallahassee. And she was kidnapped and killed. How many? Just think about it. Think about this, y'all. A literal Black Lives Matter activist was kidnapped and killed. You think they gonna take care of her family? You think they gonna, if she start a GoFundMe, it's gonna make any money? Think somebody gonna step out and pay for her funeral? Just think about that. Think about the Twilight Zone, which is the community. The Twilight Zone, the community is the Twilight Zone. The community is the Twilight Zone. She's a literal Black Lives Matter activist. Okay, so she's a Black Lives Matter activist. She was kidnapped and had her black life taken. And it's almost like it didn't even happen. This is what nobody. And then look at Jamel Hill. The wokest person to ever walk the face of the earth. Listen to what Jamel Hill blames it on. Can anybody read this and tell me who Jamel Hill is blaming this on? He said George Floyd fell. He threw that. No, they already arrested the dude. Black dude. They already arrested the dude. Black dude. I'll show you a picture of the dude in a minute. They already arrested the guy. But what I'm saying is, listen, look, read this and tell me who Jamel Hill thinks is to blame for this. I'm sorry, I wasn't familiar with Olawatoye and Salu as I should have been. My heart hurts for her and those that loved her. She deserves justice. I just wish she had gotten what she needed most while she was still here, which was our protection. Yeah, she blaming the police, man. Protection. She blaming the police. She's subtly blaming the police. I'll show you a picture of the dude. Amazing that the news isn't mentioning how she was found together with a deceased 75-year-old white woman. Double homicide. It wouldn't surprise me if a white supremacist did it. So this woman's blaming the white supremacist. Let's see the white supremacist who did this to this girl. Let's see the white supremacist who did this to this girl. Where he at? Where is it? Where he at? Where this white supremacist? Oh, okay. I know where he at. He right here. There you go. There go the white supremacist. It's the white supremacist that killed that girl. You notice that they always blame it on a white person when there's no suspect immediately available, even though the data says that it's like a 99% chance when a black body drops that it was another black person. When there's no suspect immediately available, they blame it on fucking white supremacists, man. Think about that, man. They blame this shit on white supremacists. They blame this shit on white supremacy, man. On fucking white supremacy. Yeah, he looked like the he said he looked like the black dude for Ghostbusters. They blame this shit on white supremacists, man. Can you believe that? They tried to say that a white supremacist killed that girl. Now, want me to tell you why that's even more crazy? Let me tell you why that's even more crazy, man. Let me show you why that's even more crazy that they blame the white supremacists. Okay? Let me tell you why that's even more crazy. Why they blame the white supremacists. Let me tell you this. Let me show you this. I'm gonna show you something. Okay, I see you. I'm gonna get to your emails after this. I'm gonna get to your emails after this. I want to show you this. I want to show you this. Why it's even more crazy. I'm gonna show you why it's even more crazy. You try to blame white supremacists on this shit. She went on Twitter. And told everybody what happened before she died, okay? This is her before she died. She says, anyways, I was molested in Tallahassee, Florida by a black man this morning. Okay, you heard that? You heard that? Even after she wrote this, she gave the guy's name and where he worked at and where he went to school at. And that was the guy that ended up arrested. This is her on Twitter a few days ago. Anyways, I was molested in Tallahassee, Florida by a black man this morning at 5:30. And these niggas still try to put it on a white supremacist. Which is basically code word for a white person. White supremacist means white person. Any white person is a white supremacist. The word white supremacist has lost its meaning. White supremacist means white person. He said, and then she goes on to say all this stuff about him. Yada yada. The video's on Ock Nation News. If you want to see the videos on Ock Nation News, well, I get into it, but they literally tried to say that it was white supremacists, even though she got online before she came up missing, because she knew she was in danger. She knew she was in danger, so she got online and told everybody, "Hey, this guy, yada yada yada, black guy, yada yada," and they still said it was a white supremacist. I'm telling you, the community is the Twilight Zone. The community is the Twilight Zone, my G. Okay? The community is literally the Twilight Zone. The community is literally, not figuratively, but literally the Twilight Zone. Literally. This ain't no figurative thing. This is literal. I'm not talking about sort of like. I'm not talking about kind of like. I'm talking about it is literally the Twilight Zone. It's literally the Twilight Zone. Literally.
At Eastern's Automotive Group, safety is our priority. We are essential, open, and our concierge is here to help you every step of the way, online or over the phone. We offer home test drives and home delivery to serve you and your family. Visit easterns.com and find your match from the comfort and safety of your home. We urge everyone to stay safe and look after your loved ones. Thank you from the Easterns family.
So depression and anxiety has spiked among black Americans after George Floyd's death. Oh my God, I feel bad for you white people. You white people have been had. I'm glad I live in a black city where, even though there's a lot of white people here, it's still a hell of a lot of black people. And man, depression. These people ain't depressed. Ain't nobody depressed. They just milking this joint, man. They milking this situation. Data from the U.S. Census Bureau survey indicates a rise in anxiety and depression among black Americans following the death of George Floyd. And what does that mean? A rise? Does that mean 1%? They try to say white supremacists, man. White supremacy is causing distress in these things. Wow. ABC News executive placed on administrative leave. Oh, they trying to get rid of everybody. Executive made a racist comment about black staff. A top ABC executive was placed on administrative leave pending an investigation Saturday following a Huffington Post report alleging she used racist language about Good Morning America co-anchor Robin Roberts. Why it matters. Barbara Fedida oversees hiring and diversity programs. The report also accuses Fedida of enabling a toxic and abusive work environment. Huffington Post contributor Yashar Ali reports that Fedida allegedly said during the 2018 contract negotiations, after Roberts, a black woman, asked for more money, that it wasn't as if the network were asking the anchor to pick cotton. Alright, man, whatever. Everybody, a lot of y'all gonna start getting fired. A lot of white people gonna start getting fired. That we know we're gonna see that. We're gonna see that. We know we're gonna see that. A lot of white people gonna start getting fired. Trust me. Some stuff you want white people to run. Like, come on, man. Some stuff you want white people in charge of, man. Anything that got to do with timing and punctuation and precision and shit. Come on, man. Stop acting like white people are useless. We trying to act like we don't need white people for nothing all of a sudden. We got it from here. Basically, the world is telling white people we got it from here. Is that safe to say? Is that safe to say that the world is literally telling white people, look, man, we got it from here. We don't need y'all no more. And I think that oh yeah, ESPN ratings are down. Yeah, I do a video about that tomorrow, man. On my other channel, on Ock Nation TV. I do a video about that. Let me get to this one. Brooks was a guy you were rooting for. Rooting for what? To get away? All he did, listen, there was nothing to root for him for, man. There was nothing for him to root for him for. You were probably rooting for him to, like, talk his way out of a DUI. But I was really rooting for him. I was rooting for him to pass the breathalyzer. I was rooting for him to pass the field sobriety test. Once he failed those two, I was rooting for him to remember what city he was in. Once he couldn't remember what city he was in, so yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to look at it like that, yeah, you were rooting for him because you were rooting for him to remember what city he was in. If you saw it, how many of y'all saw the body cam, the whole thing? This brother could not remember what's. I mean, and it wasn't like they asked him once. They gave him like 10 guesses. They gave him 10 guesses. He could not tell them what city he was in. The officer's car is right there with Atlanta PD on it. The officer's uniform is right there with Atlanta PD on it. And he still could not tell them what city he was in. He named every city in Georgia except Atlanta. Literally. That nigga named every city in Georgia except for Atlanta. The only city he didn't name was Atlanta, which was written on the cop cars, which was written on the cop's uniform. The only city he didn't name. They asked, you know what city you're in? Nope, that's not it. 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 He could not tell them what city he was in. I was rooting for him to say, just Atlanta. Just say, it's written right there on the police cars. Just say Atlanta. It's written right there on the officer's uniform. Atlanta PD, just say Atlanta. Stone Mountain, Athens, Georgia, like Macon, Augusta. Like, damn, nigga, just say Atlanta.
This has been hard, and it has really been difficult for me to put aside my own anger and sadness during this time.
Anger and sadness. I don't want to hear about your anger and sadness. Miss me with the anger and sadness, man. You people ain't angry or sad about this stuff, man. People getting killed in your communities every day. Chaz, Chop, whatever they call it, that shit. Raz is handing out AR-15s from the back of his Tesla. In Washington, to own an assault rifle, a person must be 21 plus if outside their own home or business. They can charge Raz with gross misdemeanor for the first transfer to anyone under 21, then felony for everyone after that.
Need more people that know how to use firearms. Appreciate you.
We just got told there's another group they're meeting with there, and then they'll be moving in a few minutes, so be ready.
Somebody over there, is 18, know how to use a gun? Take the clip out and put it back in. No one's gonna like fucking ask me walking in here now. Nah, just come right back in.
Hell nah, man.
Keep the barrel down.
Hey, keep that down.
Hey, if they arrest me, you got my bond? I got you. Hey, I got you, just don't say any names. Sit him down and knock it out. You better not mumble in that. Thanks for ever get into a shootout and you're trying to get things covered, make sure you get the rear wheel of the car. Get where the tires at. Yeah. Sometimes you send your...
What if those white people shoot some black people with those guns?
That's not as, engine blocking tires.
This is true. It might be misinformation, it might be lies. That's why I pointed out earlier. So we're just being ready. We're not doing anything illegal.
They want to know why the guns tonight.
Just the energy is out right now. There's some possible threats or whatever. So we're just exercising our rights.
Looking for you. I was literally looking for you. I had to take a piss.
Having a little bit of education as well.
Someone called you a proud boy.
That's a homie.
You said a black cop was shot and killed in Florida? Nah, I ain't hear about that. What city, man? What city? What city in Florida? What city in Florida? What city? She looked Lightfoot White looked like she could lead the NBA and block shots. Wow. 3 suspects in custody. They killed that black cop, man. No one cares. No one cares. Nobody gonna pay for his funeral. He got insurance. He a cop. He supposed to do it. Florida Wildlife Conservation Officer Julian King Jr. was shot and killed early Sunday morning, according to Hendry County Sheriff's Office. King was off duty at the time of the shooting. According to HCSO, deputies were dispatched to the area of Apache Circle and Nobles Road in LaBelle for reports of someone shot. Hendry County Sheriff's Office Major Crimes Unit are the leading investigation on this homicide, assisted by the FDLE. Investigators are currently have 3 suspects in custody. No question them at this time. Wow. Okay, so we have a Florida officer stationed in Tarpon Springs was shot and killed over Sunday night He has been identified as Charles Condick, a 17-year veteran. Oh, this another one? Damn, another Florida cop. Oh, this is 2017. Okay, I want to see that. Damn, what the fuck? Oh, sorry, I want to see this guy. Let me see if we can find any more information about this guy. They say they got 3. There we go. That 846 was weak as hell. 846, Dave Chappelle, that shit was garbage. That joint was garbage. He feeds off the crowd. Dave Chappelle feeds off the energy of the crowd. So when the crowd is all social distance and scared to laugh, got masks on, he can't feed off of them. Dave Chappelle is like me. I feed off of y'all. You know what I'm saying? I feed off of y'all. My videos, when I make a video, it's different when I'm making a video than when I'm doing a live stream. Like, I feed off of y'all comments and y'all input.
Ya está aquí el nuevo sitio web para noticias locales. El tiempo y entretenimiento en Tampa. TampaHoy.com.
It didn't matter if he was on duty or not. He was going to help.
This morning, FWC officer Julian Keene was shot down here around 5 a.m. while he was off duty. Investigators putting down at least 32 evidence markers at the scene.
I don't know all the details. From what I know, I think it's a pretty lousy situation.
The Hendry County Sheriff's Office saying 3 suspects are in custody for questioning. Keene's friends meeting at his home today, reeling from their loss.
He just did so much for anybody he could at any moment.
Keene, a lifelong LaBelle resident, dated Patty George's daughter in high school. She says the two remained close since then, making today's news unbearable.
Every time I saw him, I tell him I love him and to be careful. And most of the time, when I said it, I was saying it more in the light of his job, because I worried about him with his job. So this makes the 10 times worse. That's what happened.
Friends say a local family raised Keene, taking him in as a child. In turn, Keene coached youth football in town and would give the shirt off his back for anyone in his hometown of LaBelle.
He is a pillar of that community, and you know what? Someone said it on my newsfeed. I met him for a split second, but he's forever in my mind. He was that kind of memorable person.
That's how he was. If he saw wrong, he was going to try to right it.
This video from February shows Keene singing along in his friend's country band. His friends saying they'll remember him as a hero.
He's a good guy. He'd do anything for you. Damn good FWC officer.
Rise and shine with weather from meteorologist Lace Band.
People are inviting me into their living.
They ain't gonna care. They ain't gonna care. They ain't gonna care. He wasn't killed by a cop. He wasn't killed by a cop. Family waits for answers after man dies in shooting involving 5 Tampa officers. So we got another brother. Another brother shot by a cop. God, dog. I told you every day, every other day it's going to be a brother shot by a cop. That's what the stats say. Okay, so this is April 28th. So this is old. Jonas Joseph, 26, was killed by Tampa Bay police officers on April 28th shooting. They say he fired on them, but his family disputes the account. The police said this dude fired a gun at them, but his family disputes the account. His white Chevy Impala matched the description of a vehicle linked to a drive-by shooting. Okay? So this brother's vehicle was linked to a drive-by shooting. Okay? This is what they will. You can guarantee that's going to be left out. If this story becomes big, they going to leave that out. His vehicle matched the description of a vehicle linked to a drive-by shooting. Officers said they conducted a traffic stop. Joseph pulled into a driveway. Police said then backed into an officer's vehicle in an attempt to flee and struck a tree. So this brother's car was identified as the vehicle who recently did a drive-by. They stopped him. He pulls into a driveway. Then he backs into an officer's car, and while he's trying to flee, he runs into a tree. It then says he then fired on officers, and police said they returned fire. The family disputes the police's account. They say he was shot 62 times by 5 police officers. They said they learned from the medical examiner report after talking to an investigator, who he said told them the officers emptied their magazines. They said the officers fired 115 to 120 total rounds. They say their calls and emails to Tampa Police Department about the investigation into the shooting have gone unanswered. They haven't been allowed to see Joseph's car, receive his personal effects, or even the clothes he was wearing. They haven't been given any police reports or even a case number, nor have they seen any video of his death that may have been captured on police cameras. Jonas is a hard worker, and they took Jonas's life from my hands for no reason, the 51-year-old mother said at the news conference. You know who you won't hear from. You know who you don't have a shot in hell of hearing from. Jonas got killed, my sweet, sweet son. Tampa Police did not comment in the case. Standard procedure for law enforcement agencies to not comment on ongoing investigation. Family demands answers take place as protests against police brutality and racial injustice continue across the Bay Area in the country, sparked by George Floyd. Nearly 37,000 people have signed a Change.org petition asking Governor Ron DeSantis and state lawmakers to compel Tampa police to release any video evidence they have of Joseph's death. Black Lives Matter, Restoration Polk Inc., and the Poor Minority Justice Program and Tampa civil rights activist Michelle Williams have all publicly stated their intent to help the mother look into their son's case. Now, they don't care if the brother did a drive-by. None of them want to know if their brother had pulled that drive-by. They don't give a fuck about that. They don't care if he pulled that drive-by. They don't care. At this point, you gotta let the perp shoot you before you can shoot back. Even if you get fired on, so if they want this, they want an investigation. Records show that Joseph the man who got shot by the police, had been arrested several times from 2012 to January. So he had been arrested between 2012 and January this year on charges ranging from armed robbery to grand theft to illegal possession of a firearm as a felon. He was freed from the county jail in February after serving time for disobeying an officer and failing to appear in court. So this brother just got out of jail. Think about it. They say the distinctive front black bumper on Joseph's car is what caught officers' attention while he drove on East Palafox Street in Jackson Heights. His car matched the description of a white Impala wanted in an April 23rd drive-by shooting in nearby Grant Park that left one woman wounded inside a home. So this brother just got out of jail in February, and in April he's involved in a drive-by shooting that wounded a woman inside of a home. And then he gets pulled over by the cops, and he rams their car, and then runs into a tree while trying to get away. Normally, I would have said there's no chance that this case could get any traction. But after this weekend and after what happened with Rayshard Brooks, this case might get these cops may get fired, the police chief may have to resign, and this guy family may get a state funeral for him. Sponsored by Tyler Perry. And look at that smile. You know what they're going to say about him. You know what the family going to say about him. You know exactly how the family going to describe him. Can you tell us about Jonas? Tell us about Jonas. Jonas Joseph. What kind of person was he? What was he like? Give us some insight into Jonas. What was he like? He liked to make people laugh. He was always smiling. So they always say, anytime a brother get killed, there's never any thoughtful, there's never even, he was, he liked fishing and he loved, he loved animals, or he was, he was a very, thoughtful person, or, he was compassionate, or he was, he was a leader, or nothing. Just, he liked to laugh, and he made everybody laugh, and he was always smiling. That's all you ever hear from any. No matter how they die. I don't care if they get killed by anybody. That's all you ever gonna hear. That's all you ever gonna hear. But this brother just came home from the joint and his car was already implicated in the drive-by. I would normally say that this story don't got no traction, but I don't know. They bringing it back up. They trying, the family got 37,000 people want an investigation. I know them cops shaking in their boots. I know them cops involved in this probably thought this shit was over with. Them cops probably thought this was over with. I know they shaking in their boots. They probably shaking in their boots, man. Them cops probably like, oh, snap. Hey, if y'all want, if these white folk gonna give y'all money for your loved one that got killed by a cop, I can't even be mad at that family. That family go in. If that family can get some noise about that murder, about that killing, and gets a bunch of money, oh well. Let me get out of here, y'all. It's been real, man. Salute everybody, man. I'll get back at y'all tomorrow, man. I'm gonna get back at y'all tomorrow, man. Salute to everybody, man. Salute to everybody, man. Appreciate all y'all, man. Salute. Peace.